Hello, my name is Andrea. Thanks for being here. I have a technique to share with you, and this is a technique called muscle testing, and it's super effective for helping you make any decision. I'd like to share with you how to do the technique, some practices, and also some things to watch out for that will help to make your muscle testing on or off because it is a subjective tool. So this is an energy tool, and here we are online, and so I know that there are a lot of distractions around you. So I'd like to invite you to go ahead and silence your phone, turn off your email, shut your door, whatever you can do, because when we're working with energy tools like this, we want to be in alignment. We want to stay connected to ourselves. And that also means not being in our head. Some of us have more of a proclivity to stay in there than others, but all of us will do better muscle testing when we are in our bodies. And what I mean by that is to be grounded or to feel. You can start by just feeling your feet on the ground and as though you have roots going into the earth, closing your eyes, taking 3 long deep breaths, placing your left hand over your belly, your right hand over your heart, and just connecting inwardly. Breathing down deep. So this space of centeredness will be the space where you're able to actually absorb more awareness and more knowledge about this technique. It'll keep you connected to yourself. And it's generally just a good practice to stay in your body and stay present with me in this way. So I invite you to do that, and I also invite you to set enough time aside to be able to watch the whole length of this video so that you don't miss an important part. So I'm going to dive right in and teach you the technique. I'd like to say that this technique has totally changed my life. Sometimes I forget the impact, but I was thinking I was just sick yesterday and I wasn't feeling great, and so one of the things I do always is I muscle test it. Is this an emotional illness? Is it a spiritual illness, or is it a physical illness? And there are different types of illnesses. In this case, it was emotional, so I knew right away that what to do. I have my tools, so I started working and I cleared it within a couple hours. Now, had I succumbed to the cultural understanding of what being sick meant, it would have been a totally different story for me. And I might not be feeling good today. So that's just one simple thing. I use this like 50 times a day. I can't even share. It's helped me to connect with my intuition beyond any other technique. So it's powerful. So take this seriously and know that this practice can really assist you in a lot of things. So I'm going to teach you right away, just so we can get going here. There's 3 basic ways to do this. Other people will teach other techniques for doing it on other people. These are the 3 ways that I know of to do it with yourself. So 2 fingers. And you're going to kind of make a little chain here. So I'd like you to make a command. And then in the command, you're going to kind of speak in alignment with your whole self. So feel the resonance of your words. Show me strong. This will be your strong. You're going to pull against your little chain. Show me weak, and it'll break. Show me strong. Show me weak. Show me strong. Show me weak. Keep practicing, and do not worry if you're not getting it right now. Hold the intention that you will get it and stay confident. The worst thing you could do is start to feel your confidence waning. You've got this. I've taught this to hundreds of people. You got it. You might not get it right away. I'll give you some practice sheets, but it will come. And so I'd like you to continue to focus. The second way that I'll teach you is the way that I use, which is put your hand down flat on the table. I don't have a table in front of me, so I'm going to do it like this. But you're going to put your hand out taut like that, and then press it down on the table like this. And then go strong. Show me strong, and your finger will go up. Show me weak, and it'll go to the side, or it'll do a little thing like that. You can see mine. That's why I muscle test. I usually just do it on my leg like this. It's my favorite way, not everyone's favorite way. And I'll do the third technique for this, which is, I think, the most popular. Putting your index finger out, pushing, and then you're holding the finger taunt. So you're not changing the pressure that you're applying here. You're just holding it strong. And then you put this other finger on top of it like this. You can see that. Pushing down. Show me strong, and it'll stay strong. Show me weak, it'll be a little bump. Show me strong. Show me weak. You see the weak? There's just this little break in it. Weak, 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 weak. Strong, 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 strong. Weak, 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 weak. So you'll start to attune. It's subtle. You're working with subtle energy. So some of us are more in tune with that. It kind of depends how intuitive you already are, if you have a strong meditative practice. And if you don't, you certainly can build that. One of the ways that we are more effective in using this in any energy tool is to dwell in our neutral mind. And in our neutral mind, we are able to see all possibilities. We aren't overly attached to any of them. So the more strong your meditative practice is and your ability to kind of sit outside yourself and observe who you are, observe what's going on around you, that is the space of neutrality. And what I'd like you to do is bring that space that you may have created in your meditation in your third eye, or even starting to hover above yourself, and I'd like you to bring it into your body. Because this is kinesiology. Muscle testing comes from a branch of kinesiology. So it's in the body. You're testing your whole energy field with this technique. So the more centered and neutral you can stay while still in the body, are you still breathing in that way that we practice, the more effective your muscle testing will be. So be careful not to get up into your head, especially if you're not seeing a lot of results yet. It will come. So what are the 3 big mistakes people make when they're making decisions? I'd love to get this word out so you can help me, because people get very, very confused about decisions in life, and they do crazy things to figure things out. But here are some of the 3 major mistakes I see, which will also cause your muscle testing to not be as effective. 1, making a decision with your mind only. We are beautiful beings. We have 10 bodies. We have emotional, spiritual, physical, lots of things going on, and a lot of intelligence in other parts of our body. In fact, our hearts are the part of our body with the biggest electromagnetic field. So bigger than our brains. So we're wanting to tune into this deeper awareness with muscle testing. So if you're only making a decision with your mind, you're really only using one part of the whole system. And so notice when you get into that analytical mode, for me, it starts to be like racing and looking at different possibilities. And I just feel all this pressure start to build in my head. Sometimes it even spins me into anxiety. It used to a lot in the past. That was my mode because I was highly intellectual for a long time in my life. And it's taken me a lot of work to be able to integrate all of myself into my beingness. And I am so much happier now. That's the number 1, making decisions with your mind only. So the second one would be being overly attached to the outcome. So the key here is to notice your attachment. It's not that necessarily you're going to be unattached, but you can say, oh, I see that I want some specific outcome here. So just be careful not to bias yourself and say, okay, I see my bias here and I set it aside because I want to know the truth. I really want to connect with my whole being and hear what I'm trying to tell myself, what feels right to me. And that's what we're really testing in muscle testing, is your true north, who you really are. That said, the third thing that I see people do all the time is try to incorporate voices outside themselves. So the news anchor this morning, this blog you read, your mom's voice echoing in your ear, your best friend thinks you should do this, your doctor thinks you should do that. And there's so many voices that can confuse. Really what it does in terms of our energy field is it confuses us and we lose touch with ourselves. And really we've come here to master this, to understand this, to listen so that we can figure out who we are in the world, what we want, our own unique perspective. And that is basically our gift to the world. So we owe it to the world to know who we are and then choose from there. You can always choose what you do. as long as you know where you're coming from to begin and you're not trying to listen and incorporate too many other voices. So let's go back to a practice of muscle testing. So I'd like you to find the technique that works for you. I think this is one of the more popular ones, so I'll do this one. I'd like you to say your name and say it like this. My name is Andrea, so I'm going to say that. My name is Andrea. It should hold strong. Hold with a, just medium amount of pressure here. Strong. And I'll say, my name is Jessica. Weak. My name is Jessica. Woo, weak. Try another name. My name is Juan. So this is testing the resonance, how your body, when I say my name is Andrea, my body is like, yes, I'm strong. That is who I am. I am firm in that. When I say Jessica, there's this little blip and I can feel it in my heart and it doesn't feel good. I always feel like a little inward collapse. And I think about all the subtle ways that we do that when we don't speak our truth or even know our truth. So that inward collapse doesn't feel good. It feels like a little shrink. So that's actually what muscle testing is helping us tune into. So be conscious of that. So keep testing. And you can test things. I'm 34 years old. Strong. I'm 36. I'm 28. I'm 62. No. So go ahead and test your age. Test what color shirt you're wearing. Just practice on benign things where you're not really overly attached to it yet. We'll get to the harder stuff. Okay, keep practicing. Another really important piece in any kind of energy work is to know the ethics and the boundaries. Staying within these boundaries will keep you in integrity with yourself. Integrity is a really big thing for me. Being in your truth. It's actually one of my guiding principles. So it's especially important with muscle testing that you don't test someone without their expressed verbal agreement. So you are asking them, can I muscle test you? And they are saying yes. This is an important boundary because it's just we are all one. And energy flows between people like water. And so it takes a special amount of focus to be able to just muscle test what's going on with you. And this is what we've been given to work with. What other people are up to really does not matter to us. As much as we think it does, you can be very, very tempted to think it does, but it really doesn't matter. That said, I think practicing muscle testing with someone else is actually a very good way of learning because we tend to be more neutral when we're working with someone else than when we're working with ourselves. So it'll help you to master the technique a little bit so then you can start to do it with yourself. So I invite you to share this video with someone and then practice together. Obviously, you're both agreeing to it, and there's nothing wrong with someone muscle testing. People ask me to muscle test them all the time. I actually use it in my emotional healing practice in my work with business owners constantly, and people value that skill. So you can bring this skill into your work life, tons of areas of your whole life, and really help people to connect with what is true for them. And that is a huge gift. So I don't want to detract from that, but there is this thing that we want to stay away from, which is being kind of voyeuristic with our muscle testing. So be careful that you're staying in integrity with yourself. So that enough on that. I trust that you'll get that and you'll use it. You'll find that if you do start kind of breaking those boundaries, you're more susceptible to picking up other people's energies. And you don't want to do that. You just don't want to do that. We do that a lot in the world. And so here is another technique for effective muscle testing. It's focus. So when you are creating a statement or a command, make sure that you are intently focused on that question. Because if your side of your mind is thinking about what's for dinner, the energy is going to throw off a little bit. You want to be very focused. I think one of the reasons I'm such a good muscle tester is because I have this crazy ability to focus, which I've always had. It's kind of a detriment, but in this case, it works. One of the tools that helps me muscle test if I have something that's going on outside of myself. Like I was muscle testing my business yesterday morning, and I draw a circle on my paper and I write my business name, and then I can focus my energy on that business, and then I muscle test it from there. So that just drawing, or you could write the name, helps me to focus my energy. If you've worked with other energy tools like pendulums or really any other energy tool, you'll know that this is a technique we use just to help focus the energy. So do use that if you are feeling like you're all over the place or you need a little bit more help focusing. You can always write it down. So last piece of this, I'm going to send you some practice sheets, and I'd like you to practice those, and then I'm going to have a follow-up video for you. So the follow-up video will just be there to help you kind of ground in this new practice, make sure you're hitting all of the parts, and I really hope that you use this technique and that it changes your life in the way that it did mine, because it's truly, truly fantastic. I have also some references for those of you who are the sciencey types, or just want to know a little bit more about the technique. I will refer you to a couple books that are really good for understanding the quantum physics that lie underneath it, as well as how this technique has been used in the public sphere. So I'll put those up on the ending of the video. Thank you for being with me. Lots of love to you.